What do we do now? Ade said, already in a state of confusion and worry. Okay, I think we should go to the nearest police station and report about Fumi missing. Let's go! Iya and Pelumi chorused in unison as they all went to the police station in the village to report the case of Fumi being missing. The police joined in the search of Fumi, and Iya, Pelumi, and Ade were all interrogated by the police. They were asked several questions to be able to determine if they had anything fishy going on. But after the long search, they still could not find Fumi. Iya, please, I need you to let me know whenever the police have any information about Fumi's whereabouts. Ade said, giving a piece of paper to Iya with his phone number boldly written on it. Really? So you have the guts to even talk to me? Don't you know you are the reason why my daughter Fumi is missing? Let me tell you, if anything bad happens to my daughter, you will pay dearly for it, Iya said angrily. The next day, very early in the morning, Ade traveled back to the city as he needed to continue with his business. Iya would cry all day, blaming herself for ever chasing Fumi away from the house. Fumi continued with her treatment at St. Catherine's Hospital, and she was informed that she only has 2 visits before she will be through with her treatment. After Fumi's last visit at the hospital, Fumi was glad that she had a freedom of going back to her village. Kainde made sure that Fumi got all that she would need. He even got Fumi 2 additional wheelchairs, peradventure the one that she was currently using go bad. Kainde also bought a phone for her so that he would be able to at least reach her and know how she was doing. After all the preparation, Fumi became really afraid. She did not know what she was going to expect when she gets back to her village. But in all, Fumi knew that she had to face her fears squarely. Kainde took Fumi in his car and together they traveled to the village. When they got to Fumi's compound, Kainde pulled over. Alighting from the vehicle, Kainde assisted Fumi to alight from the car. Noise from the vehicle had attracted the attention of Iya and Pelumi. When they came outside the house, they were first shocked to see Fumi, and then seeing Fumi on a wheelchair totally caught them off guard. They have been praying and hoping for Fumi to return, but not as a cripple, on a wheelchair. Fumi broke the silence. Mother, Pelumi, how are you? They quickly snapped back to reality. We should be the one asking you. What happened to you? Iya said curiously, already obviously worried. Can we go inside the house at least? Kainde suggested. They all went into the sitting room and Fumi spoke up. I had a very fatal accident and I have been in the hospital at Ibadan. What? How did that happen? Iya exclaimed. And who is this young man? Oh, this is Kainde, the man who saved my life. Fumi lied because she knew the moment she mentioned that the man was the person that had hit her with his car, there would be serious problem. Kainde was shocked as he listened to Fumi exonerate him from the whole situation. He swallowed his saliva hard as he listened to Fumi continue speaking. Pelumi froze completely, in total disbelief and shock about what had happened to her sister. Ah, thank you very much, sir, for saving the life of my daughter. May God bless and reward you, Iya said to Kainde. Kainde did not know whether to say amen to the prayer because for him, he felt he could have averted the whole situation that day. Later that day, Kainde informed Fumi that he would be taking his leave and go back to the city, and Fumi thanked him for taking good care of her. When he was about leaving, Kainde whispered to Fumi's ears, "Please call me if you need any help." "Thank you so much," Fumi said, appreciating him. Later that night, Iya informed Fumi how her disappearance really got everyone worried and how they had looked for her non-stop. But what they did not say was that it was Ade's coming that made them realize that she was missing and possibly in danger. Weeks turned into months and Ade did not show up, which really got Fumi worried. He had promised to be back in 1 year and pay the loan Fumi had collected from Chief Begbeji. And Chief Begbeji was already on Fumi's neck, threatening to sell the land if she does not pay up the loan she had borrowed from him. And so Fumi had to resume back to her shop and see how much sales she could make to meet up with the loan she had already collected. But business wasn't going smoothly for her, as she had lost most of her customers when she disappeared from the village, and some of the items in the shop were already expired, given to the long months she had spent at Ibadan. But Fumi was never the type to give up. Despite her being on a wheelchair, she even worked harder than most people who were not. But of course, the work was overwhelming for her. At some point, she had to beg Pelumi for her assistance. Okay, I would help you get the item you asked for me to get in the shop. But first, I have an appointment. When I return, I would help you. Pelumi assured Fumi. Okay, please do not stay long, oh, Fumi shouted while her sister Pelumi went her way. Pelumi had gone to see some of her numerous admirers. First, she was with Chief Olusegun, and then she went to visit Bayo, who had promised to give her some money. And by the time Pelumi was done visiting her numerous boyfriends, it was already 9 p.m. Fumi had been checking the time since noon, hoping that Pelumi would be back in any time soon, only for Pelumi to show up at 9 p.m. when all the markets had closed for the day. Pelumi, why will you do such a thing? I believe you knew you were not going to come back early, yet you gave me hope to wait for you, and now see the time you are coming back to the house. Where have you been, if I may ask? What Pelumi said next shocked Fumi to her bone marrow. Please, don't question me like that. I am not a baby. Besides, why can't you go to the market yourself? Am I the cause of you being crippled? What sef? Belumi's words cut like a knife deep down. Belumi, are you talking to me like that? Is there any other crippled person around? I am talking to you. Please let me be. This time, Fumi could no longer say a word, as her voice was swallowed up in pain and her eyes were already building up for a crying section. Their mother Iya was already fast asleep and did not bother to know where the noise was coming from and what was happening. Fumi's life even became worse when Iya would seldomly throw jabs at her appearance and her inability to walk. Most times, Fumi had wished that she did not have a mother. At least, it should have been easy for her to say that she was an orphan. However, after 1 year and 6 months, Ade miraculously showed up in the village. This time around, it was obvious that he was doing very well as he came in his own car. He drove right to Fumi's compound. He had seen Fumi, but she was not the Fumi he had known. The Fumi he saw was a cripple on a wheelchair. His jaw dropped. His face darkened as he looked at Fumi helplessly on a wheelchair. No one had prompted him on what he was going to expect when he finally sees Fumi. But now he felt a lot of emotions all at the same time. The joy of seeing Fumi, the pain of seeing her on the wheelchair. After a few minutes of being dumbfounded, he managed to speak up. Fumi, what happened to you? He questioned curiously, trying to know the reason for her current situation. Fumi explained all that had happened to her. They spoke at length that day, and he as well told Fumi how he was able to navigate the business world and become successful. Fumi was happy to see Ade after a very long time, and for Fumi, life was beginning to have a meaning. But that was the first and only day Ade visited Fumi. He never showed up again to see Fumi, and Fumi was very much aware that Ade was still in the village. But how come Ade had refused to come and see me since the last time he visited? Or is there anything wrong with him? She thought to herself. Plus, it was almost getting to the deadline Chief Begbeji had given her. Chief Begbeji had given her an ultimatum to pay up the loan, and Fumi did not want anything that would make Chief Begbeji take over her land. And Chief Begbeji was really hopeful that she would not be able to pay the money, so he had the opportunity to take the land away from her because the land was at a very strategic and choice location in the village. So Fumi had to pay Ade a visit in order to know why he had not been visiting and for him to pay up the money she had borrowed him. When Fumi got to Ade's house, the whole place was really looking different as Ade had renovated the house to meet up with his tastes and was quite surprised, but she was happy for him because the house looked quite beautiful. Fumi rolled her wheelchair to the door and then knocked on the door. To her greatest surprise, unaware of who was at the door, Pelumi came out. As Pelumi opened the door, she was surprised to see her sister Fumi. She wasn't expecting her. Who is that? Ade questioned Pelumi from inside. When he did not hear any response, he walked towards the door to see who was there. Fumi, oh you are here? Ade said carelessly. Ade, I need an explanation. What is going on? What are you doing with my sister? Fumi shouted in rage. Ade and Pelumi looked at each other and busted out laughing all at once. Fumi turned round to see who they were laughing at, but she only was the person around. Fumi managed to leave Ade's house, holding back her tears, and for the first time, she did not want anyone to see her tears. She wanted to cry in the rain. That day, Fumi's heart shattered into million pieces, different thoughts running through her mind. Where did I go wrong? Who have I offended? These were some of the questions Fumi kept asking herself, soliloquizing. The next day, Ade paid Fumi a visit. At first, Fumi paid rapt attention to him, hoping to get a convincing explanation to what had happened the previous day. Fumi, I want to tell you that I don't think I can continue with this relationship. You see, we live in separate worlds now. See, you're on a wheelchair. You're a cripple. I can't marry a cripple. And as for the money you borrowed on my behalf, here is a double of that amount. You can pay back the money and get back your land, Ade said. Fumi thought she was dreaming. She cleaned her face with her hands several times to be sure it was not reality. But it was real. The Ade she had sacrificed so much for threw her right under the bus and broke her heart in million pieces, leaving her with a scar. Tears poured down Fumi's face as she watched Ade leaving. The pain was too much to bear. The hurt was excruciating. She waited patiently for Pelumi to return from wherever she went to. And when Pelumi returned, Fumi asked, "Why? Pelumi, why will you do this to your own sister? You and mother humiliated and broke shamed me because of Ade. And now that he is doing well financially, you took him away from me. Pelumi, why?" Fumi questioned in a mixture of pain and anger in her tone. It is not that deep now. I am only helping this family. You see, he is never going to marry you in this condition. And now that he is rich, instead of him to marry a random girl, it is better he marries me. At least I will bring the money back home for all of us. Belumi's words were unbelievable. Belumi, can you just hear yourself? You are going out with your sister's man. Can't you see, Belumi? You are hurting me. Immediately, Iya came out from the room. See, Fumi, I think your sister is right. Oh. It is better Belumi marries him and bring the money home than Ade getting married to a stranger. Or will you prefer that the money should go to somebody that you don't even know, rather than coming back to this family. After all the sacrifices you have made, see now, you are crippled. And if Belumi doesn't marry him, we will all be at the losing end. Iya's words really caught Fumi unaware. She knew her mother would always support Belumi, but supporting Belumi to take her man, the very man they all insulted and mocked her for, was really unexpected. Mother, you are heartless. How can you do this to your own daughter? Fumi said, sobbing in tears. See, my daughter, you would understand later that I am helping all of us. As days turned into weeks, Fumi realized that she had completely lost her man to her younger sister. And before she even realized, Belumi got pregnant for a day. Mother, I am pregnant. I am pregnant, Belumi said excitedly. Really? For who? Iya questioned. For Ade, of course. That is very good now. Now that you are pregnant for him, he will have to marry you. Yes, mother. He just have to. Ade agreed to marry Belumi because she was already pregnant for him. And before rumors could start flying around, Ade and Belumi traveled to the city, fully married traditionally. Some people are really shameless. So, how can you marry your own sister's husband just because she's crippled? Ha, your own sister. One of the villagers said, my dear, you blame her. What about that ingrate Ade? After all that Fumi did for him, see the way he paid her back by marrying her sister. Another added, oh, you guys have even forgotten to mention Iya, their mother. That woman is worse off. She's evil and wicked. To think that she allowed such shows how inhuman and wicked she is. The rumors kept flying around the village like wildfire. Most people really felt pity for Fumi for having such a wicked people around her. However, of all the things that Fumi hated was seeing people stare at her with pity. She had never liked being pitied, and everyone that saw her after her sister left to the city with her man all gave her the gaze as they felt so much pity for her. They always gave her that stare and gaze that she hated. And so Fumi could not hold it any longer. She was tired of it all. In the weeks following, Fumi had snuck in the poison into the house, hoping to end it all. When no one was at home, she patiently waited for the compound to be quiet. But that day, Iya did not seem to have a place going, and Fumi wanted her mother to leave so badly so that she can carry out her plan. It was already noon when Iya informed her that she was going to see a friend. Fumi's eyes lighted up as she was glad that she was going to end it all. Fumi held the container in her hand, about to say her last prayer, when all of a sudden she heard a knock at the door. Oh, who is that? Fumi grumbled. To her greatest surprise, it was Kainde. Fumi, what are you doing? What is in your hands? You want to kill yourself? Fumi, no, you can't do this. Kainde immediately grabbed the container from Fumi's hand as he took her into his car and drove off. Kainde drove Fumi to his house in the city. When he got home, he looked at Fumi squarely. What is wrong with you? Why do you want to take your own life? I know life has not been easy for you, considering your condition, but that does not mean you should end it all. Fumi, why haven't you been taking my calls? I tried calling you severally, but you did not pick up, nor reply my messages. It really got me worried, and I figured you must be in some sort of trouble. I had to come look for you. Kainde, why did you show up? Why stop me? I really want to end it up. I was betrayed by my love and my own family. It hurts, Kainde. It hurts so badly. Fumi said, already in tears. I see you're broken and you're going through a lot. But that does not mean it is over. God has plans for you, Fumi, and He won't stop until He makes you what He really wants you to be. Kainde said, assuring Fumi and giving her hope and a reason to live. That night, Kainde did not sleep a wink. He was by Fumi's side, ensuring she was fine. The next day, Kainde did not go to work either. He did not want to take the risk of leaving her all alone. He prepared food for her to eat, and later that day, they watched a movie together. For the first time in a while, Fumi felt at peace, the type she had never felt before since the accident. Later that day, as Kainde and Fumi sat in the sitting room, there was a knock at the door. It was a mail. It's one that Kainde had been expecting and looking forward to. As he opened the mail, he screamed in excitement. What is it? What is the matter? Fumi questioned curiously. Guess. Fumi, guess. Guess what? What? You want me to guess? Oh, you got a new contract. Nope. You got a visa? Nope. Just tell me what it is then, Fumi said, already feeling impatient. Kinde gave a wild smile as he started speaking. Fumi, you know the other day I said I have been trying to reach you for a very long time before I came to your village, right? Yes, you said so, Fumi responded. So the thing is, I have been looking out for good hospital that could carry a successful surgery on your legs so you could be able to walk again. So I had sent all your medical reports and history to several hospitals, hoping to get a reply. So far, most of the hospitals I had sent your medical reports to had given a negative response that they would not be able to carry out the surgery on you and make it successful. At some point, I really got discouraged. But guess what? A hospital in Abuja had replied that they would be able to carry out the surgery on you with 80% chances of you walking again. Fumi could not believe her ears. She had totally given up on ever walking with her legs. Kehinde, are you serious? Are you joking with me? Fumi questioned, looking into his eyes to get the truth. Yes, I am serious. I mean it. See for yourself, Kehinde said, showing her the mail and all the medical analysis hospital has sent to him, including the cost of the surgery. After a while, Kehinde traveled with Fumi to the hospital at Abuja for the surgery. Fumi was skeptical, afraid of losing her life in the process of the surgery, but she kept hope alive. She prayed that the surgery would be successful, and after the long hours in the theater, the doctor broke the news to Kehinde that the operation was successful. Kehinde's eyes widened. His face lit up in excitement. After weeks in the hospital, Fumi was discharged. She started with using crutches, and with physiotherapy, she was able to stand up on her feet again without any form of aid. It was a miracle. Fumi could not contain her joy as life was taking a positive turn. She wanted to take her life for some reason some time ago, but now, looking back, she was grateful Kehinde showed up just like an angel. Meanwhile, Pelumi was busy enjoying the life of luxury in the city. She was pregnant, so Ade pampered her so much. One day, Ade's friend came visiting, and Ade introduced him to Pelumi. Meet my friend. He is a multi-millionaire in dollars. Wow! Belumi's eyes lit up on hearing Johnny's words. Immediately, Belumi started thinking of ways to get romantically involved with Johnny. She was already winking and smiling flirtatiously towards Johnny. When Ade left to go get a bottle of wine, Johnny flirted back. Already seeing that Fumi had given him green light, he collected her contact, promising to call her back. When Ade returned, they both pretended that they were only discussing Johnny's business. So one day, Ade informed Pelumi that he would be traveling for a business trip Belumi was excited that she was going to use the opportunity to meet with Johnny. Ade met up with one of his business partner who informed him that all his goods has been seized by the immigration because Johnny had added some illegal substance into his goods and that the NDLEA was already on the lookout for them. Immediately, Ade entered his car. He drove off to Johnny's house to confront him for ruining his business and his life. However, he got the shock of his life when he met Belumi right inside Johnny's bedroom. His joints became weak. His eyes darkened as he froze in shock. He managed to speak. "Belumi, what are you doing here?" "I can explain. I can explain," Belumi pleaded. Ade drove to the house, brought out all Belumi's belongings as he bundled Belumi back to the village. "Please, do not do this to me. Do not leave me here. I am carrying your baby," Belumi pleaded. "Which baby? That child. That child is not mine, you adulterous woman," Ade fired at her as he drove off. Meanwhile, Ade had to go into hiding in the village because all his goods were being seized by the immigration, and Ade was also wanted by the National Drug Enforcement Agency. However, Iya was shocked when Belumi disclosed that Ade was not even the father of her pregnancy, that the pregnancy belongs to either Chief Olusegun or Bayo, and that she wasn't even sure of the actual paternity of her pregnancy. "Belumi, you are a very useless girl. So you don't know the person that actually impregnated you. What a foolish girl. I thought you were smart. You are even worse off than your sister. Who would have thought that you can be this foolish?" Iya yelled insults at Belumi, though they knew that Fumi was doing well in the city, but they were too ashamed to even confront her. Fumi went back to school as Kehinde sponsored her education in the university, and upon her graduation, she got a well-paying job in one of the biggest international auditing companies. Fumi's dream became even clearer by the day, and for her, everything that had happened to her happened for a reason to get her where God wanted her to be, at the top where she belonged. She was glad that she fulfilled her dream of making her father, old soldier, proud. Thank you for watching the story so far. You see, in life, everything happened for a reason, and it may not seem good at first, but it will all make sense in the end. Also, whatever one sow, that shall he reap in due season, whether it's good or bad. Tell us the lessons you have learned from this story in the comment section. Like this video please, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and kindly share out this video to your loved ones. Until I come your way again with another African story, for now, from me it is bye.